Just like other surrounding communities growing in southern Utah, Santa Clara has been discovered as a great place to live. With a population of around 6,600 people, the 5-square-mile city limits was settled in the 1850s by Swiss Mormon colonists. City planners want to make sure the historic district of Santa Clara is preserved with similar home and building styles, keeping their heritage alive. While the new boundaries up for review would extract some areas, it would expand others, including the Swiss villages on the west entrance to Santa Clara.
We don't want to see the beautiful downtown area replaced with brand new construction of modern-looking buildings, which would detract from the historic nature of Santa Clara.
The reason for the restructuring of the City of Santa Clara's general plan adopted in 2014 is to make sure it aligns with future development of a popular trails area in the South Hills. The BLM owns most of the ground, but it may soon be up for grabs by the public.
The BLM has identified this area as potentially available for disposal, which means sale to private interests. And so in order to prepare for that potential sale and development, the city of Santa Clara has asked to have the plan updated.
And of the 1,700 acres of BLM land, only about 350 acres are considered developable. The plan as it is drafted now would include both low-density and medium-density housing.
And we've identified these pods as potential housing areas. They're targeted to be clustered housing, primarily because there's a lot of expansive soil in the area.
A recently proposed resort on about 80 acres of private land in the South Hills includes zoning for future rental housing.
And so this is more akin to a hotel, but looks like a bed and breakfast. We've incorporated the trail systems through the resort area so that it's open to the public. This is a resort that we want people to come in. This isn't a gated, exclusive type of thing. We want to involve mountain bikers and hikers and that sort of thing to actually come through the resort.
Residents here have mixed opinions about what should go into the South Hills.
We just don't want a high density. We do not want vacation rentals stuck in the middle of these housing developments.
We're kind of opposed to the Hills project of anything of high density. And in the general plan it says single family.
We hope that we can maintain the continuity of the historical district, and if they want to do the medium, low, high, the vacation rentals they're talking about, put it up over on the other side of the hill.
We have the right now to go 36 feet high, but we're agreeing up front to only go 2-story smaller units along that north rim so that when you look up from the valley you don't see big buildings and resort.
Because this is a huge area for outdoor recreation, like biking, ATV, and hiking trails, those who moved here say they don't want to be inundated by noise or overtaken by outsiders.
If it is going to change, then it should be maybe a rolling hills home community and not a bunch of crazy businesses and people racing around out there and increasing the traffic up and down and just keeping it kind of low key.
But developers believe this is an opportunity for Santa Clara to reap the benefits of tourism without impacting their community.
That allows Santa Clara to have some industry that's favorable to, that's low impact on its infrastructure, meaning their schools, that sort of thing, but adds a great economic advantage from all the tourism.
The comments will be forwarded to the Planning Commission for review before they will make a final recommendation to the City Council. Planning consultants say growth is inevitable and needs to be managed.
The critical thing you do when you're planning is getting the big stuff right. And the big stuff is highways and utilities and stuff that's under the ground and roads. Those are really hard to move once they're in place.
Consultants say it could take about 5 years before any solid decisions are made by the BLM on the 89 acres in the center of the South Hills, which is now under review.
And they would be severely criticized if they sold some land and then turned out to have some rare habitat.
A long-range transportation plan shows a proposed road along the western corridor that could eventually tie in with Sun River and I-15.
If Santa Clara wanted to develop some additional employment, some business park, manufacturing, high tech, any of those kinds of things, this would be an area where that could take place.
Another road, Plantation Drive, would link east and west from there back to St. George. In Santa Clara, Melissa Anderson, CEC News.